T-minus 12 minutes and counting.
If you're just joining us, that was the call out that we've got 12 minutes until launch. And what we're seeing now with the live video is the rocket being carried past the range safety area out onto the pad.
早上好，我们正在中国进行这项历史性的发射。
Our Chinese friends are saying good morning. We are following this historic launch in China.
我们非常骄傲，道格拉斯火箭有一位中国的制造商提供火箭配件。
We are very proud that Douglas Rocket involved a Chinese manufacturer to produce
龙万
components.
号研究火箭是由江苏制造的碳纤维构成，通过大运河和上海运到美国。
T-minus 2 minutes and counting.
The Dragon 2 research rocket is constructed from carbon fiber parts made in Jingzhou and shipped by the Grand Canal and Shanghai to America. What we're looking at now is some video that was taped earlier. This is the process of putting together the ejection.
空气框架的直径为100毫米，长度为1000毫米，它配有活塞喷射系统和浮标降落伞。
She's telling us that the airframe measures 100 millimeters in diameter and is 1,000 millimeters in length. It houses the piston ejection system and the drogue parachute.
Aujourd'hui, on est en train de lancer de la fusée de recherche Dragon 2 sur un 54 mm moteur de fusée Cesaroni fait au Canada.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
From Canada, they're saying that the Dragon 2 research rocket is being launched today on a 54 millimeter Cesaroni rocket motor made in Canada.
有效载荷舱的长度为235毫米，并容纳飞行计算机、高度计、核基载、相机系统。
She's saying the payload compartment is 235 millimeters in length and houses the flight computer, the altimeter, and the onboard camera system.
铝尖鼻由碳纤维构成，长度为410毫米，主要容纳主降落伞。
The aluminum tip nose is constructed of carbon fiber and measures 410 millimeters in length. The nose houses the main parachute.
T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
And we're seeing the activation of the onboard avionics system now.
翅片稳定系统由4片2毫米厚的碳纤维板构成。
The fin stabilization system consists of 4 2 millimeter thick carbon fiber plates. Let's look at a little video of the avionics system. This was taped earlier. This is where the electronics are being put together. They go inside a separate section of the rocket, and we have an altimeter, an onboard flight computer, a beacon for locating the rocket, and we have a camera system. What we're witnessing now is the mounting of the rocket onto the launch.
T-minus does 8 minutes and counting.
Onto the launch pad. This is a very critical phase because the rocket has to slide very neatly onto the 1010 rail so that when the motor's ignited it doesn't hang up because that would retard the thrust and reduce the altitude. A lot of times this is a component of the overall flight that is very, very critical because you want it to run smoothly as it lifts off.
Le moteur J210 a une durée de combustion de 4 secondes avec une impulsion totale de 836 secondes de Newton.
T-minus 7 minutes and counting.
Okay, so we were hearing that the J210 motor has a 4-second burn time with a total impulse of 836 Newton seconds. And we're looking at some video that was made earlier of the motor being placed into the metal compartment. The propellant goes inside of that, and then it will be in turn mounted inside of the rocket. And what we see is the motor retainer ring being screwed in place. This keeps the rocket motor from coming out of the back of the rocket because there is a lot of explosive force not only going upward but upon ejection that would push that motor out. We're seeing now the live image at the pad.
T-minus 6 minutes and counting.
La poussée maximale est 335 de Newton.
We're being told that the maximum thrust is 335 newtons. The process of setting the igniter in place is very critical. The ignition system, of course, is electronically controlled, and the igniter has to fit inside to the deepest part of the motor because the propellant burns from the front of the motor toward the back of the motor.
La masse totale du moteur est 842 grammes avec un propulseur de 82,6 grammes.
The total mass of the motor is 842 grams, she's telling us, with 82.7 grams of propellant. We're on pad D4.
T-minus 5 minutes and counting.
起飞重量为4054克，火箭的重量为3105克。碳纤维比玻璃纤维轻得多。之所以被选为这个项目的材料，是因为它很坚固，重量又很轻。
From China, we're being told that the liftoff weight is 4,054 grams. Tare weight of the rocket is 3,105 grams. They also told us that the carbon fiber is considerably lighter than fiberglass and was selected for this project because it is a strong and lightweight material. Still working on the igniter, it appears, from the live video. In the distance, it looks like the range is fairly clear.
T-minus 4 minutes.
So that call out, we have 4 minutes until launch. This is generally where the rocket pilots are a little bit nervous, going through their mind to make sure that everything was done properly. A lot of these guys use checklists to make sure they do everything in order and don't neglect any of the steps. It looks like now that he's hooking the ignition wire that goes to the control panel up to the igniter itself. And looks like he's all finished.
On my mark. T-minus 3 minutes. Mark.
Okay, we have 3 minutes until launch, so won't be long now before we see this rocket go up into the air.
Flight controllers at Hudson standing by. All systems green.
Let's take a look quickly at the video that was made earlier about some of the deployment system here. This is a 32-inch drogue parachute that comes out of the rocket at apogee. An explosive charge of black powder is used to deploy that parachute, and in the event of failure there, the motor itself has a ejection charge. So you've got two opportunities for that parachute to be deployed. The yellow material is a Nomex flame retardant blanket.
T-minus 2 minutes and counting.
And this is used to protect the parachute because the black powder does put out a lot of hot gas, and if you burn the parachute, then deployment is not going to work well. It's all connected together with Kevlar lines, which are flame retardant, and if they're properly installed, everything should go very well. Looking now at the live video, the rocket is on the pad. You can see way to the left of the screen a fire extinguisher that's standing by.
Vehicle's in great shape. The weather is go. Sector should be interesting. Flight 4 is a punch through the clouds.
现在我们出发，开始倒计时。
Okay, in China they tell us, here we go, stand by for a countdown.
T-minus 1 minute. Launch sequence start.
This is the MTD conducting the launch status check.
Onboard computers.
Please go.
Onboard video.
Is ready to proceed.
Recovery operations team.
Please go.
45 seconds.
Ground photography.
He's not working any issues. You are go for launch.
Audio record.
You have a go.
Range safety.
Has no constraints for launch.
Aerial clearance.
So as go, you have a range clear to launch.
Motor sequence.
What sees go?
30 seconds.
Ignition
Go
control.
for launch.
Canadian motor sequence control. Canadian motor sequence control. Are you go?
Flight, this is motor sequence control. We are go for launch.
All systems, we are go for launch.
15 seconds.
Copy, clear to launch. Thank you.
It says heading over to Canada at 10 mark.
10、
9,
9、
8,
8、
7,
7、
6,
6、
5,
5、
4,
4、
3,
3、
2,
2、
1.
1，
Décollage.
升空。
Liftoff.
龙2号研究火箭正
Regardez la
处于动
fusée
力提
Dragon
升
2
阶
à
段，
l'air sur Césaroni.
2,000 feet.
漂亮，10秒展开，
C'est une couleur fantastique.
3,500 feet.
蓝镜
3,646 feet.
C'est incroyable.
Stroke
Probe
deploy.
deployed.
托载部署。
3,703
Apogee
feet.
我
at
们显示最大加速
3,701
度
45
为
feet per
3.2
second.
3,202 feet.
Peak acceleration, 6 Gs.
2,737 feet.
速
Descent
度为
50 feet
每
per
秒
second.
133.2米。
2,259 feet.
Descent 44 feet per second.
Descent rate under drogue, 45 feet per second.
1,833 feet. $1,382 feet.
Descent 45 feet per second.
$932 feet.
Main shield deployed class 1 minute 24 seconds.
Main
Main chute deploy.
主降落伞展
497
开，
feet.
Descent 34 feet per second.
Descent rate under main, 25 feet per second.
260 feet.
Descent 22 feet per second.
Touchdown in 10,
44 feet.
5,
Descent
4,
21 feet per
3,
second.
2, 1. Touchdown.
Landed.
Touchdown.
Atterrissage.
触地，由中国江苏制造的碳纤维材质的龙2号研究火箭触地。
Flight sequence stop.
All systems stop.
Okay, from China they were telling us touchdown of the Dragon 2 research rocket with carbon fiber components made in Jiangsu, China. We missed a lot of what the Canadians said and the Chinese said in the excitement of the flight. Average G's 3.2. Maximum height readout 3,701 feet. Maximum speed 471 feet per second. Maximum G's 6.0. Mach 0.4.
Recovery operation underway.
Downrange touchdown, 745 yards. Recovery team dispatched.
祝贺你飞行愉快，我们很荣幸成为这个成功项目的一份子。谢谢道格拉斯火箭。
From China, they're saying, congratulations on the beautiful flight. We are honored to be part of this successful project. Thank you, Douglas Rocket. And getting some translation from during the course of the liftoff, Canada said, look at the Dragon 2 Go on Cicerone. And our Chinese friend said, beautiful, one roll in 10 seconds. Canada said, fantastic burn. And then excitedly, Canada said, yes, yes, this is incredible. So now we're showing video of the touchdown area, and it looks like everything is intact. I don't see the orange flame retardant blanket that that protects
As vehicle recovered.
that protects the 64-inch main parachute, which is the parachute that brings it down at about 24 feet per second. That would be the eye gouge pink. And then, of course, the drogue chute is the dinosaur orange parachute. One of the things that's typically done on touchdown is to photograph how everything laid out. Now picking up the parachute, you can see the piston, which is part of the piston ejection system, and the Kevlar cord that goes to the main airframe. The short orange component there is the avionics bay. That contains all the electronics and the camera system. And the main parachute is 64 inches in diameter. And I do not see the flame retardant blanket. It's orange in color, and I don't see that at all. So apparently that has somehow separated from the flight and is out in the field somewhere. We're going to take a look momentarily at some pictures that are coming in, still photos that are coming in from the flight. It takes a little longer for those to process, and we will run those on the screen here very shortly. As out in the field, the recovery looks like it's well underway, and it doesn't look like there are any issues. Looks like it was a very successful flight.
Plus 12 seconds. As flight control back to Hudson. Drogue chute deploy. Plus as 24 seconds.
These photos were taken at apogee, which was 3,701 feet. That's where the drogue parachute was deployed. It required 26 feet for the drogue to come into full blossom, which took place at 3,675 feet altitude. When the drogue first comes out, the rate of descent was 34 feet per second, but as the rocket falls, it accelerates. Here we're seeing the rocket passing through the cloud deck at 2,000 feet. The acceleration in this case increased to 49 feet per second, falling toward the ground before the main parachute was deployed. We can see the launch pad on the ground, 2,000 feet below. Karen was our commentator from China. She gave us our carbon fiber information and provided launch information for us. You can see a picture of the drogue up above the main rocket. The white smoke to the left is the black powder that exploded and shot out this debris and deployed the parachute.
Main chute deploy. Plus 1 minute, 24 seconds.
The main parachute is protected by a orange Kevlar blanket, which you can see to the right of the frame with the nose as the parachute begins to unfurl. We did notice at the recovery that the Kevlar blanket was missing, and here we have pictures of it separating from the overall rocket. The parachute deployed at 684 feet altitude, and it required 285 feet for it to come into full blossom. This is not unusual for a parachute of this size, which is 64 inches in diameter. This parachute will slow the descent rate to 32 feet per second and then eventually to 21 feet per second before the rocket touches down to the ground. So the parachute is in full blossom. We're at about 399 feet altitude at this time. This is our flight controller, Modeja. He worked with us from Austin, Texas. And here's some of the flight data. The red line shows the height of the rocket, the green shows the speed, and the blue shows the acceleration. This was all captured by the onboard computer. Interesting image of both the main parachute and the drogue parachute in full blossom, slowing the rocket down for touchdown. The Kevlar cord that connects everything together measures about 31 feet. We have a section that runs from the airframe to the piston, which is 11 feet 8 inches in length. And then we have from the piston to the chute, 2 feet 2 inches. This is Sonia. She did our Canadian broadcasting, and she is actually originally from Croatia. The Kevlar cord that runs from the avionics bay to the nose cone is 9 feet 3 inches in length. So it's a total of 31 feet 1 inches from the airframe all the way to the main parachute and the nose of the rocket.
Touchdown in 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown.
Even though the rocket comes down under a 32-inch dinosaur orange drogue chute and also a 64-inch diameter eye gouge pink canopy, it still hits at 21 feet per second, which is fairly fast. You can see in some of these landing images a little bit of dirt is kicked up as the rocket hits the ground. Everything is all tied together, and so the recovery is simple. This Kevlar is a 2,000-pound test line. There's a nice image of the main canopy as the camera is pointed skyward. Overall, the flight was very, very successful. The only anomaly is the separation of the orange Kevlar blanket, which did its job. It protected the main parachute. However, it did separate and was located.
Flight sequence stop. Plus 1 minute. 41 seconds. Recovery operation underway. As vehicle recovered.
Vehicle's in great shape. The weather is go. Sector should be interesting. Flight 4 is a punch through the clouds.
现在我们出发，开始倒计时。
T-minus 1 minute. Launch sequence start.
This is the MTD conducting a launch status check.
Onboard computers.
Please go.
Onboard video.
Is ready to proceed.
Recovery operations team.
Please go.
Ground photography.
Not working any issues. You are go for launch.
Audio record.
You have a go.
Range safety.
Has no concerns for launch.
Aerial clearance.
So go. You have a range clear to launch.
Motor sequence.
Let's see. Go.
30 seconds.
Ignition control.
Go for launch.
Canadian motor sequence control. Canadian motor sequence control, are you go?
Flight, this is motor sequence control. We are go for launch.
All systems, we are go for launch.
15 seconds.
Copy, clear to launch, thank you.
Says heading over to Canada at 10 mark.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Décollage.
龙2号研究火箭正处于动力提升阶段。
Regardez la fusée Dragon 2 à l'air sur Césaroni.
漂亮，10秒展开。
C'est une brûlure fantastique!
蓝镜，
Apogee at 3,701 feet.
Oui, oui, c'est incroyable!